Big and bigger news and everything in between right here, right now. Welcome! You're watching Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup or weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. The impressive news of the partnership between IMSA and Reiza surprised us Saturday night. Well, we read about it Sunday morning and that gave us no time to read, digest and analyze it. That's why it's in this week's news. We're also quite surprised it hasn't generated more of a buzz. After the very successful release of the Endurance Pack with Le Mans at the beginning of the year, this is another big step for Reiza in doing what others might be failing at. And Rennsport going early access this year will open up another venue for endurance. Endurance racing seems to be the big pull this year, companies having the same idea at a similar time. As always, we'll have to wait and see what becomes of it. We'll keep delivering to you the news about it and putting our heads together and commenting in depth about it in our podcast. For now, here's the news. This week, Rennsport released a video with a different style of town hall meeting. It was shorter for one, the sound quality was better for the other. Before they recorded this video, they had asked in their Discord for questions and the denizens of the Discord dropped about 90 questions on them, of which understandably only a part got answered. First surprise for me was that their biggest team of developers is not in Munich, as you would expect, because that's where their HQ is, but in Swedish Malmö. And the team has grown a lot since the beginning, which is why the development has been slow. This may sound counterintuitive, but keep in mind new team members have to learn to work the code and with the rest of the team, and are at the beginning full of questions as any of us would be. This means they are not yet up to speed, and of course those in the already existing team spend some time answering the myriad of questions the new people have. These can take between 1 month and half a year in my experience. But it seems the rookies have settled in their position, as Rennsport expects to deliver an update every quarter, at least if the roadmap this year is anything to go by. One date they are specific about is the one for the next big update of the sim, which is the 27th of March, next Wednesday. The focus of this update will be time trials. The hot lapping Ike loves to diss in a loving kind of way, but which is quite popular within a big segment of sim racers. Also, the Porsche Mission R we've seen many times will be available for driving from now on. And if we're talking about time trials and Rennsport, many of you will immediately think about the Goodwood Hill climb that had already been in the sim for some selected events and now will be available for everyone. Completely new will be a day and night system for Rennsport, which fits a promise they make for Q4 we'll discuss in a moment. And if you asked for a key and are still waiting, the next key drop's going to be in the, and I quote, vicinity of March 27th. Fingers crossed for you. That's all big news to come in the update, but we're sure there will be a lot of small things updated too. We'll check it out next week and give you feedback accordingly, so if you aren't yet, now would be a good time to become a subscriber so as not to miss it. We move on, as Rennsport did in their video, towards Q2 of the year. They call it progression because that will be the focus of their release with a new ranking system, which according to their plans will not only take into account the multiplayer racing, but also any other driving you do in Rennsport, of course including time trials. Staying on the second quarter release, Rennsport expects to bring some McLarens into the sim, specifically within a new car class, the GT4s. Together with the McLaren, which we suppose will be the 470S GT4, there will be 3 other cars coming which they don't disclose, but I would be willing to bet the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS will be there. While in the roadmap they talk about new tracks, they did neither disclose them nor did they hint at any, other than saying one of them is community built. For all intents and purposes, a mod. And expect the tires in the GT3s to feel better after these dropped, as they are redoing the GT3 tire physics and expect to release that code in Q2. On Q3, Rennsport expect to have the sim ready for early access, and on Q4 the release will seemingly be concentrated on endurance, which is where their day and night cycle fits, of course. In the time between the Q2 release and the Q4 release, they expect to add pit stops to the sim, longer races, more classes, multi-class driving, and of course being able to support more cars on track than they do now. No word about driver swaps or 24-hour racing for now, apart from the leaks they have already running, which are quite centered on the Central European time zone, but shout out if you're taking part from anywhere in Africa in the comments. They want to start a league for American time zones as well as one for APAC time zones. And a, for us, small detail but maybe big for communities wanting to race on Rennsport, you will soon be able to add your own advertisement on the track so everyone knows who they are racing and what they are watching. For those of us hoping to get VR soon, Kim, the lead game designer, informed they are using Unreal Engine 5.3 and are expecting to have VR active until the end of the year. While they hope it's going to be sooner than that, they cannot be more specific right now. Keeping in line with not being specific, different layouts for tracks are definitely coming at some point, and they already have the oval configuration of Daytona being used inside of the office, but not in the closed beta, and no specific date set for the release of that one. And if you're interested in making mods for Rennsport, it seems the first modding tools are already there. Talk to the Rennsport team, or if you don't know who to address, come to our Discord and we'll get the contact established for sure. Raceroom are next week delivering the Circuit de Migl, which was planned for autumn last year but got pushed back in favor of finishing the big system update we reported about. See the link up there. This is a great track and quite demanding, driven by many series in its day, including WTCR. Keeping with Raceroom, the Ferrari 296 GT3 that you can already enjoy within the DTM 2023 pack will be added to the GTR3 class, and with it a lot of authentic liveries. Dakar Desert Rally delivered an update so minimal we're going to read the sentence they published verbatim. Fixed crashes that happened when the Logitech G920 steering wheel was connected. Yeah, that's all of it. After last week's update, see the link up there, Le Mans Ultimate released a hotfix fixing a crash when moving through different event types, getting the Porsche screen translucent again, yikes, and eliminating impacts on the safety cones, reducing your safety rating. Expeditions has seen its first update to date, fixing bugs with bridges and avalanches, not allowing you to sell tires twice, and correcting the minigame's camera angle, among other small corrections. See the link in our description for the whole list. And if you pre-order F124 in the next 30 days, you'll get a special livery for your Team Haas car. Team Haas, the number 10th and last team in the Constructors' Championship. Wow, what a thing. From the maker of Art of Rally comes Golden Lab, which seems to be a minimalist motorsport management game. Truth to be told, that at first glance it doesn't have anything that would incite me to buy it as opposed to Art of Rally, but maybe with more information comes more interest. iRacing released a second hotfix for their second season of the year, and by their own words, there may be another one soon, as they found critical bugs in the software, which is never a good thing. With this hotfix, iRacing developers have reduced the maximum possible rain in official series. Insert joke about drowning in complaints here. The BMW M4 GT3 and the Porsche 963 GTP got some graphics corrected, and Sebring and Wild West Motorsports Park got some critical issues corrected too. Reiza released a development update last week, in the night from Saturday to Sunday to be precise, and boy did it have stuff to munch on. Let's start with the biggest news. Automobilista 2 is an official partner of the IMSA, the organization running the Sports Car Championship. Seems Reiza are taking the push for endurance quite seriously. IMSA also run many car-specific series in the United States, but of course their endurance races are what they are most known for. These may mean everything and nothing, as being a partner of the series does not mean Reiza automatically gets any licenses to any tracks or cars as far as our investigations go. Unlike IndyCar or NASCAR, IMSA does not seem to own any licenses to any tracks. On the other hand, of course, the partnership with IMSA is a door opener for Reiza to be able to talk to a lot of companies and get the licenses to many of the cars and tracks they didn't have until now. And here I am hoping we get a Reiza version of Sebring, which would be fantastic. Reiza themselves say as much, as they are hoping to get all cars and tracks of the IMSA 2024 season officially licensed and therefore represented in Automobilista 2. This is going to be a steady drip of news once they get the licenses, and means their content developers have a lot of work in front of them. Which is why Reiza are searching for software and content developers. To be precise, they are searching for C++ code engineers and car and environment 3D artists in particular, but anyone interested in working for Reiza is welcome to apply to jobs@reizastudios.com. Would be interesting to see if any former motorsport games developers end up working for Reiza. Also, the 1.6 version will bring a content manager within which you can deactivate any series you are definitely not interested in ever, so you don't see them in the list of cars and series. Coming back to the IMSA partnership, Reiza have declared we will see major additions to the sim with a planned 1.6 release, which of course has no date yet. No date either for the 1.5.6 update, just the information that it's coming at the end of the month, and we'll already have part of the updates in preparation for the big 1.6. Don't be too excited about the end of the month. Reiza are known to watch set dates fly by while they keep working on the details. Time moves differently within the realm of Reiza. The team have worked on the shaders within Automobilista 2 to give us better graphics without those being a big hit on the system, which is nice. They specially mention 3D trees and water. And cars will have better looking materials and texture on the inside. Another part of the sim which work will be seen in the upcoming small update, and I say that with a grin in my face because Reiza's updates are never small in size or with respect to the work done to get them ready. So another part of the sim updated will be live track, the way the track changes within a race or a whole race weekend, with the rubbered parts of the track being more visible as well as the dusty parts, the latter even kicking up clouds of dust. And if you think any update for Automobilista 2 comes without physics, think again. In preparation for the 1.6 update, the tires will be worked upon once again, concentrated on the one side on how the rubber compresses and expands under the different physical forces exerted on it, the other concentrated on how heat is created by the actions on the tires and how it influences the work of the rubber, including its wear. Which sounds like a lot of thought and a lot of work if you ask me. The big work for all of this is aesthetics. Go and look it up if you're interested in physics. It's fascinating stuff. With regards to content, the 1.5.6 will deliver the Stock Car Pro Series 2024, the last one that will use these cars, which have been changed slightly as per 2024 regulations. And the Formula Ultimate Gen 2 has seen an update of the overall 3D model, the sounds and the physics, bringing it in line line with reality and the updated physics of Automobilista 2. One thing Reiza will definitely need to become a force in the world of simulated endurance is a better multiplayer support, which is why they are renewing their search for beta testers specifically for multiplayer and offering a beta test key for Automobilista 2 to anyone willing to participate. The key would give you access to all actual and future DLCs as well as access to the beta. They rightfully reserve the right to revoke the key if you don't keep your promise to participate though. See the link in the description for further information about it.